The black armored Hummer rolled through Maplewood Heights like a predator stalking through a petting zoo. Its jagged armor plating caught the early morning sunlight in harsh angles, each reinforced panel designed for deflecting explosives rather than impressing neighbors. The vehicle's aggressive geometry screamed battlefield functionality. Angular blast deflectors, reinforced wheel wells, and bulletproof glass so thick it distorted the world beyond. Against the backdrop of manicured lawns and white picket fences, it looked like a piece of war had broken loose and wandered into suburbia by mistake. The morning air carried the scent of fresh-cut grass and brewing coffee from kitchen windows, punctuated by the distant hum of lawnmowers and the cheerful chaos of children being loaded into minivans. Sprinklers whispered across emerald lawns while joggers in designer athletic wear nodded politely to dog walkers with their perfectly groomed pets. It was the kind of morning that promised nothing more dangerous than traffic delays and forgotten lunch money. Behind the wheel sat Viktor, his presence filling the armored cabin like a coiled spring. His tan skin spoke of years under foreign suns, and his long black hair was pulled back to reveal intelligent brown eyes that cataloged every pedestrian, every potential obstacle, every weakness in the peaceful suburban tableau. The leather steering wheel creaked softly under his red goatskin gloves as he navigated the tree-lined streets with the precision of someone accustomed to much deadlier terrain. His long brown duster trench coat, worn soft by time and use, rustled against the driver's seat with each turn. Beneath it, his black muscle shirt revealed the lean, efficient build of someone who had never known the luxury of softness. Beside him, curled on the passenger seat like a mechanical nightmare masquerading as a pet, lay what appeared to be a cat. But where nature would have provided soft curves and fur, this creature was all sharp angles and metallic surfaces that seemed to slice the air around them. Its design echoed the aggressive geometry of military stealth aircraft, sleek, predatory, and undeniably artificial. 3 red eyes glowed like ember coals in the filtered morning light, 2 where a normal cat's eyes would be, and a third centered on its forehead like a crimson targeting laser. The faint hum of internal systems created an almost subliminal vibration that seemed to make the very air around it feel charged with potential violence. In the back seat, Anastasia smoothed her private school uniform with hands that trembled almost imperceptibly, whether from first-day nerves or something deeper, only she knew. Her flawless tan skin seemed to glow with an inner light that had nothing to do with the morning sun, and her long red hair cascaded over her shoulders like liquid fire, each strand catching the light with impossible perfection. Red eyes, an unusual trait that should have been unsettling, but somehow made her breathtakingly beautiful, focused on the world beyond her window with the intense curiosity of someone seeing everything for the first time. The Westfield Academy uniform fit her like it had been tailored by angels. Crisp white blouse that never seemed to wrinkle, navy blazer with the school crest positioned with mathematical precision, plaid skirt that fell at exactly the right length, knee-high socks without a single imperfection, and black shoes polished to mirror brightness. Everything about her appearance whispered of perfection achieved through means that had nothing to do with teenage vanity.
With all my scientific power to bend the forces of the universe, what does my beautiful daughter, the jewel of the universe, ask of her father to go to a high school with these small, pitiful vermin?
The words hung in the climate-controlled air like a challenge to reality itself. Outside, a school bus rumbled past in the opposite direction, filled with the chaotic energy of teenagers shouting over each other, their voices creating a symphony of youth and possibility that seemed to mock Viktor's assessment. Anastasia turned from the window, her movement causing the morning light to dance across her blazer's eagle crest, a proud bird clutching a banner that read, "Knowledge, Honor, Excellence." Her fingers worried at the hem of her skirt, a gesture so perfectly human it almost disguised the inhuman precision of everything else about her.
I'm looking forward to meeting the human species and understanding them, Father. There's so much I want to learn about how they think, how they interact, what makes them.
Viktor's reflection in the rearview mirror showed eyes that narrowed with the patience of a predator who had learned to wait centuries for the right moment to strike. His grip on the steering wheel tightened almost imperceptibly, the leather creaking a soft protest.
Understanding vermin is hardly a worthy pursuit for someone of your capabilities, my dear,
he replied, taking a turn that brought them onto Elm Street. The Hummer's weight shifted with the ponderous authority of something built to survive artillery strikes, not navigate suburban traffic patterns.
But Father, surely there must be something valuable about them. They've built cities, created art, developed their own sciences.
Crude approximations of true civilization. You'll see soon enough, Anastasia. They're no different from any other species that thinks itself important while remaining fundamentally.
An elderly woman stepped into the crosswalk ahead, moving with the careful deliberation of someone whose bones had grown fragile with age. She wore a faded pink housecoat that had seen better decades and leaned heavily on a walker that squeaked with each step. Her gray hair caught the morning breeze, and she hummed softly to herself, probably the same tune she'd hummed for 70 years of peaceful mornings just like this one. Viktor's foot pressed down on the accelerator with the casual indifference of someone swatting a fly. The Hummer's engine roared like a caged beast suddenly released, and the massive vehicle surged forward with the inexorable momentum of an avalanche. The elderly woman looked up, her humming cut short as her eyes widened in terror. Her walker slipped from suddenly nerveless fingers, clattering to the asphalt as 2 tons of armored death bore down on her with mechanical precision. Time seemed to crystallize into individual heartbeats. The woman's mouth opened in a silent scream. Her hands flew up in the universal gesture of the helpless trying to ward off the inevitable. The Hummer's shadow fell across her like the wing of some metallic angel of death.
Please, Father, I'm asking you to spare the old woman.
Viktor's foot slammed on the brakes with the same casual efficiency he had used to accelerate. The Hummer's reinforced frame shuddered and groaned as physics fought against engineering, the smell of heated brake pads filling the cabin. The massive vehicle came to a stop mere inches from the crosswalk, close enough that the old woman could see her own terrified reflection in the bulletproof windshield.
Very well, my beloved daughter, I shall spare the old woman. But I don't know why you care about this pitiful small species.
The woman stood frozen for a heartbeat that stretched into eternity, her entire body trembling like a leaf in a hurricane. Then survival instinct kicked in, and she scrambled for her walker with movements made clumsy by terror and adrenaline. She hurried across the street as fast as her aged legs would carry her, shooting fearful glances back at the Hummer as if expecting it to spring to life and finish what it had started. Viktor drove on as if nothing more significant than a traffic light had delayed their journey.
Thank you, Father,
she said quietly, her red eyes tracking the old woman's retreat until she disappeared behind a hedge of perfectly manicured roses.
Your compassion is wasted on them,
Viktor replied, turning onto the main road that would take them to Westfield Academy. The morning traffic parted around the Hummer like water around a stone, other drivers instinctively giving the armored vehicle a wide berth without quite understanding why.
But I suppose every young mind must learn these lessons for themselves.
Ahead, the prestigious private school materialized through the morning haze like a promise of normalcy. Red brick buildings arranged around manicured courtyards where students in matching uniforms moved between classes with the confident energy of youth and privilege. Parents in expensive cars formed an orderly queue in the circular drive, their vehicles a parade of luxury sedans and SUVs that spoke of successful careers and comfortable lives. Viktor pulled into the drop-off lane, and the Hummer's battlefield-ready presence among the civilian vehicles was like a wolf joining a flock of sheep. The contrast was so stark it seemed to bend reality around it. This instrument of war parked beside soccer mom minivans and executive sedans, its jagged armor plating reflecting the innocent chaos of teenage social dynamics. Through the windshield, Anastasia could see her new world waiting. Teenagers laughing with friends over shared jokes and weekend plans, teachers carrying coffee and lesson plans with the weary dedication of those who had chosen to shape young minds, the whole complex ecosystem of human adolescent society playing out in real time before her curious eyes.
Are you ready for this, my dear?
Anastasia gathered her designer backpack, leather so perfect it seemed to have been crafted by beings who had transcended the concept of flaws, and checked her reflection in the window one final time. Every detail was perfect, from the precise fall of her hair to the exact angle of her school crest.
I think so, Father. I really think I am.
As she stepped out of the Hummer and walked toward the school's main entrance, her footsteps silent on the asphalt despite her solid-soled shoes, She looked like any other new student facing the universal challenge of fitting in at a new school. Viktor watched her go, his brown eyes tracking her movement with the intensity of a sniper calculating wind speed and distance. Beside him, the robot cat's 3 red eyes followed the same trajectory, their mechanical precision creating a targeting solution that existed purely out of habit. The morning was just beginning, and somewhere in the distance, a church bell chimed the hour with the innocent confidence of a world that had no idea it was being observed.